For most of us, our first, and sometimes only, taste of racing comes on the streets.
Illegal.
If you love cars, this is where it all starts. In the empty parking areas, and on the city streets where you race your mates between stoplights. We do this in the very first cars we owned, or the ones we saved up for later. Then we fiddled with the engines and the suspension until they went faster, and added stripes and stickers so they looked faster too.
No.
It's the same around the world. Whether it's on Japanese mountain roads, on Britain's back lanes, or America's superhighways. We're talking about affordable heroes. Cars that bring performance to the people. Whether they're smoking around a parking lot or hammering along a city circuit you designed yourself. They aren't the most expensive, and they won't win every drag race. But they all prove one thing. You don't need $1 million to have a car with a big heart.
Each volume contains 3 series. You'll get to choose which car you'll use for each one.
Challenger series.
You are now entered in the Challenger series. Each circuit in this series will challenge different aspects of your car and your skill as a driver. Let's go choose what kind of car you'll be driving. Each division contains a group of cars from a specific car subculture. Select one of the highlighted divisions below to choose a car from its roster.
Garage cars eligible. Current car eligible. I want to do classic compact. Classic compact only because there'll be a VW Beetle in there. And I like my old VWs. One day I plan to be driving a Type 2.
The 60s and 70s were all about experimentation, and the cars were no different. Instead of relying on big V8s for performance, some manufacturers extracted as much power as possible from smaller engines and concentrated on making their cars fun, light, and good-looking. So these were things you could really throw around, which meant they inevitably found their way onto the track, paving the way for touring car racing as we know it today.
Ford Capri, Ford Lotus Cortina, RX-3, Skyline, Fair Lady. Oh! Okay, I have been proven wrong, boys and girls. Keep it saying that. There is no Beetle in this. Okay. I'm gonna pick the Celica GT.
You're all set up to race in the Super Street Challenger Series. Let's go.
Watkins Glen Full Circuit. Let's do this.
The first race of this series takes place at Watkins Glen, a course that favors powerful vehicles that can make short work of its steep elevation changes.
Oh, guess I'm not gonna be going very fast along here then. Now I've gone and turned the music off in the game because I've been hit with a couple of copyright claims on YouTube. With the first video, I didn't get any for the second, but for this first one, I got claimed a bit. So just to be on the safe side, I've got rid of
Forza Motorsport 6 is a
all the
realistic simulation
things.
that features several assists to make driving approachable for everyone. In the assists menu, you can adjust these settings to experience the full depth of this simulation.
Okay. Well, let's start race then. Here we go. torturous light. Jason! Out of my way. Everyone's braking. Why are they braking? There is no need to brake. Let's go, let's go. Well, good overtake. Bit of a slide around the corner there. Oh my god. Whoa, nearly forgot to brake. See, this is where everyone started braking for some reason, and there was absolutely no need to. You know, I was having a look through my files on my laptop the other day, and I found Need for Speed Underground 2, like the PC version. Never even realised I'd had that. Must have gotten it donkeys years ago. Anyway, so I hooked it up to my TV and played it in my TV. Pretty good, except that it kept on crashing because it wasn't designed to run on Windows 10. Yeah. I think I found some compatibility settings that works alright for it. So yeah, I've been playing that a little bit. Need for Speed Underground 2. 10, 11 years ago now? I remember it was where I first really got into racing games. I quite enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Like, I first started playing my first racing game was Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2005 one. But I wasn't a huge fan of that because there were cops. And I hated the cops. I hated how I couldn't just drive around however I wanted. So I found Need for Speed Underground 2 on my original Xbox, and I said, hey, why not? I'll play that. I played that so much. I know the map like the back of my hand. Well, I only completed it twice. Driven around in it a lot. I did shit tons in that. And then eventually I decided I should try Most Wanted, at least complete one file. And ever since then I've completed it 11 times. Yep. Welcome to the world of Liam Dunstan. Not so interested one moment, very interested the next. All of us, like, I could hardly take on Heat 2 cops and Most Wanted. Now, Heat 5, Heat 6, meh. Give me more of a challenge. 3 races remaining. Sebring, full. Oh, that looks like it's raining.
Your next race takes place in heavy rain at Sebring International Raceway. Racing on a wet track poses several challenges. Tires lose grip easier during cornering, braking distances are longer, and deep puddles accumulate, causing a risk of hydroplaning.
Sounds fun. Drove this track in the demo in the rain. In the qualifying series, the third race here was Circuit of the Americas, but in the demo it was actually Sebring in rain. I think the main reason is so that you could experience rain driving as well. Anyway, let's start race. Oh. Hydroplaning bad there. That was not the idea. Come on, get in track. Okay, bit of work to do. Get out of my way! I'm supposed to take the inside. Oh. Get a move on, you guys. Yes, it's wet. Don't be afraid to slide. Oh. I found out that when you have to run through a puddle to slow down a little so that you don't hydroplane as badly. So just take the foot off the accelerator. Thing is, my driving style is almost too aggressive for rain. Because I rely on taking the very inside a lot of times and doing stupid decisions. I have to be a bit more precise in the rain, and my driving style doesn't quite play to that. Come on. No, don't run into the wall. Let's go. Celica power! Not really. Just gonna sneak in between you guys if you don't mind. What I like about Forza 6 compared to Forza 5 is actually that the gameplay's a bit more progressive. Like the career is more progressive, whereas in Forza 5 you just... if you could afford a car from that group, you can race it then. But in Forza 6 you have to progress to that. That's what I sort of like. That's one of the things that project cars really lacked. Like, while most people did try to do it honestly in terms of starting with the go-karting before going to the real cars and then the Le Mans cars and whatever. The GT cars, I should say. Project cars, you could just hop into the top tier straight away and race from there. It's just like, what's the point? There was actually no progression. Every car was every car is unlocked in Forza 6 as well, or Forza in general. But like, there was hardly any cars. Like, the whole point of a racing game to me is not the tracks. I mean, I applaud Project Cars for having as many tracks as it did. Like, I don't even know how many there were, but there was a lot. But Forza 6 has plenty of tracks. It has enough for my liking. And it also has a lot of cars. I mean, I think this is Forza's biggest launch title in terms of the amount of cars they've had at launch. They've got about 460 cars at launch. Add on any DLC, you could have possibly up to 500. You should have up over 500. And you add on all the DLC packs they'll release throughout the months. But, yeah. That's one thing that Project Cars lacked. It's just the cars. And I honestly didn't really like Project Cars at all. Physics were okay, but Project Cars didn't appeal to me. Like, I got it. I sold it about a month later, though. Like, yeah. I don't think I'm the only one in that, with that, you know, opinion. But, yeah. Oh, pro spin. Brabham BT24. Ah, I got it. Fair enough.
Showcase events give you a
Ah.
chance to drive some of the world's fastest cars in events that highlight what makes each car special.
Look. I wonder what showcase
You
event
have
this
unlocked
is.
your first showcase event.